I'm thinking of maybe not doing a memorial service for your dad's first anniversary after all.
Why would you say that all of a sudden, Mom?
I just feel like it's too much for me to arrange all by myself.
Why would you be having to do it all by yourself? I would be helping you, of course. I don't want to hear anything else about not holding a memorial service when you've been talking about how nice it would be for so long.
I know, but it will be harder for us to coordinate now you're married and living away from home. And maybe your in-laws will get upset that you're giving so much importance to our side of the family.
That's crazy. Of course they'd understand that I want to hold a memorial service for my dad. Seriously, Mom, what century do you think we're living in? A woman doesn't become property of her husband's family upon marriage anymore, you know? I talked about this with Mike before we got married, and he said that if we held a memorial service for Dad, he would love to come along and pay his respects as well.
Well, if you're sure.
I'm sure, okay? There's no way we can let Dad's first anniversary go past without doing anything. I'm going to make sure we have a lovely service. We can include all his favorite hymns, and we can even ask the pastor if we can use the screens in the church to put on a little slideshow of memories. Wouldn't that be lovely?
I could do all of that by myself, you know.
Mom, you just said that you thought it would be too much to organize all by yourself. It's emotionally taxing more than anything else, so it will be nice to have each other for support.
Oh, I'm sure your dad really won't mind if we don't make a big fuss about it. He's up there looking down on us, so he knows how busy you are these days.
Mom, stop making excuses and just let me help you do this.
Okay. There's no need to raise your voice. We'll organize it together then. I'll call your aunt and ask her to help us too. I'm sure she has lots of nice old photos of your dad from when they were growing up that we can use in the slideshow. Since tomorrow is Sunday, we can talk to the pastor about it in person at church when the service is over.
That sounds like a great idea. We can also ask him if we can rent out the church hall after the service so that we can have a bite to eat whilst reminiscing about Dad. It will be kind of like a second wake. I think that will be quite nice. We can call all his close family and friends to invite them, even the ones out of state if they're interested. And we can also ask the pastor to put a notice about it in the church newsletter. I'll even ask my in-laws if they would like to come. I know they didn't know Dad very well, but they still met him once or twice before he got sick. It will be a nice way to bring both of our families a little closer together as well, I think.
That would be nice. In his last days, he said one of the things he was the saddest about was not being able to get to know Mike better. I'm sure Mike would have been like the son he never had if they had gotten closer.
Be honest, Mom. You love Mike more than you love me, don't you?
Well, I just think it's nice to finally know what it's like to have a son, you know? He's always so lovely to me. And it's so nice to see how attentive he is to his own mom.
Don't forget that I'm the reason he came into your life, okay?
Yeah, sure. I'm eternally grateful.
By the way, Mom, you better be going to see the doctor regularly about your back problems. If you haven't been going, I'll have to make sure to take you myself. Anyway, I'll see you at church tomorrow to talk to the pastor about everything. My lunch break is almost over, so I better get going now.
Okay, sweetheart. Have a good day at work.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Make sure you get some rest this afternoon. You don't want to do further damage to your back before the service now, do you?
I will be careful. Don't worry. Honey, there's something I've been meaning to tell you.
Oh, you will be coming to my dad's memorial service, won't you? I told my mom that you promised me that you would come, and she was so happy.
Oh, you did? By the way...
You know, my mom was actually thinking of not doing a memorial service at all. She was worried that I'd be too busy to help her out, and she also got this weird notion into her head that your parents would be upset about it. Well, I quickly dismissed her for even thinking that, because there's no way her parents wouldn't want me to go to my own dad's first anniversary memorial service, would they? I told her that I would definitely help her arrange it no matter what. And we went and talked to the pastor about it after church on Sunday, and we were able to get everything sorted.
Honey...
You know that my mom has been having problems with her back recently, right? I didn't like the idea of her running around trying to organize things herself, making the food to have in the church hall afterwards and sorting out the flower arrangements. I'm glad that the two of us are able to do this together. I feel like it's a nice way for us to help each other with the grief of losing Dad. Even though a year has passed already, it still feels like yesterday that we lost him. Anyway, I'm sure you'll be willing to help with a few things on the day, right? We'll be doing a slideshow of photos of my dad over the years, but I'm not too sure how to set it up on the church screens, and you're way more tech-savvy than me, so I was hoping you'd be able to help me out with that.
Please, can you stop talking for 5 seconds and let me speak?
Why are you yelling at me all of a sudden?
It's because I kept trying to say something and you kept cutting me off. You wouldn't let me get a word in edgeways.
Well, go on then. Spit it out then. What did you want to say?
I don't think I'll be able to go to your dad's memorial service after all.
But you promised me that you would.
It just kind of slipped my mind because I've been so busy recently.
Well, why can't you come all of a sudden? What's so important that you're willing to break a promise over it?
Well, it's just...
Stop beating around the bush and just say it already. If it's because you have plans with your friends, I don't even want to hear it. Because if you think that's more important than being there for me at my dad's memorial service, then you have your priorities seriously wrong.
It's my mom's birthday that day.
No, it isn't. Your mom's birthday is the week before that. I know because I've got her present prepared already.
Yeah, I know that her actual birthday is the week before that, but she's throwing a huge birthday party for herself, and because her birthday is on a weekday this year, she decided to do it the weekend after her birthday so that family and friends who work are able to come. Apparently, she wants to make a really big deal out of her birthday this year for some reason. So I guess you won't be able to go to your dad's memorial service either.
Why would I miss my dad's memorial service for your mom's birthday party?
Well, since we're married now, you've become part of the family. She's come to see you as her own daughter, and she would really love for you to be there. She's invited a bunch of extended family and wants to show you off to them as the newest addition to the family. Since we had quite a small wedding, a lot of them will be meeting you for the first time.
So I'm guessing you told her that I would definitely be coming without running it past me first? Why on earth would you think that I would be willing to miss my dad's memorial service for a party? It's the first anniversary of his passing, and my mom and I really wanted to do something special. It's not like this is the first time we're talking about this either. So it makes me really upset that you would tell your mom that I'm coming to her party when you knew how much holding this memorial service meant to me. Why can't your mom just have her birthday party on her actual birthday anyway? Or if she wants to do it at the weekend and she so desperately wants me to be there, she could easily have organized it for the weekend before. It's obviously not that important to her that I be there, because she would have asked me directly about it instead of just going through you if that were the case. She can't just assume that people don't have plans or that they'll drop things for her just like that. I was under the impression this whole time that we were going to be doing something quiet on the evening of her actual birthday. And why didn't you tell her that it was the anniversary of my dad's passing that day when she first brought up the party to you anyway?
Well, she was in such a good mood and she was all excited about the party, so I didn't think it was appropriate to bring it up. Of course, if it was just up to me, then I would love to let you go to the memorial service. But my mom specifically said that she wanted you to be at the party. And you know that I struggle to say no to my mom at the best of times.
Did you not spare a thought for my mom in that situation? Did you think about how awful it would be for her to have to spend the first anniversary of her husband's passing without my support? I'm sure that your mom's party will go smoothly without me if she's invited so many people. But if I'm not at the memorial service, I'm worried that my mom isn't going to be able to cope. Did that promise you made to me really mean nothing to you? You know that promises mean a lot to me, and I really don't like it when people take them lightly. You told me that you would come to my dad's first anniversary memorial service and be there for me no matter what. How come you suddenly completely changed your tune? How can you be so selfish? It's almost as if you've become a different person since we got married, you know.
You're saying that I'm being selfish? Well, from where I'm standing, you're the selfish one. Don't you know that women should prioritize their in-laws after they get married?
What kind of ridiculous, archaic view is that? Did you always think this way and you were just hiding it whilst we were dating so that you could get me to marry you? Did you make that promise about definitely being there for my dad's memorial service knowing full well that you weren't going to keep it?
Well, I made lots of concessions for you whilst we were dating, and I think that you should make some for me now that we're married. They call it marrying into a family for a reason. A wife leaves her old family behind and becomes part of her husband's family upon marriage. Don't tell me you're so naive that you thought you were some kind of exception to that rule. Give me a break.
So you really are admitting that you always had these crazy, backwards, hyper-conservative views, and you pretended to be my ideal man whilst we were dating in order to trap me into a marriage and force me to conform to your messed-up worldview?
You should know that marriage and dating are two completely different things. Surely you didn't expect things to be just the same as they were when we were dating. When a woman marries a man, she marries his family as well, and making them happy becomes one of her priorities.
I can't believe this. I had no idea you thought this way. Well, I'm not going to your mom's birthday party, and that's final.
You're not in a position to decide whether you go or don't go. You're going, whether you like it or not.
I don't think so. I will be going to my dad's memorial service that day, and organizing it is going to be my priority between now and then. I will have no part in your mom's birthday party, so you can go and worry about that by yourself. You take care of your family, and I'll take care of mine.
Are you really going to be like this? Do you think my mom is going to let you off the hook for disrespecting her like this?
Do you think that I'm going to let you off the hook for disappointing my mom? My mom has loved you like a real son ever since we started dating. She thinks the world of you.
Do you think my mom doesn't think the same of you? She's not as good as expressing her emotions as your mom is, but she really loves you a lot, you know.
Well, how would I know that when she doesn't show it? Anyway, whatever you say or do, nothing is going to change my mind about going to my dad's memorial service instead of your mom's party.
If you're really going to insist on acting like a stubborn child, then I guess you can just do whatever you want. We'll do as you say then. You take care of your family and I'll take care of mine. Hey, Mike told you, right?
About what?
About my birthday party.
Yes, he told me about it yesterday.
Why do you sound so deflated? I thought you'd be a little more excited for me. It's my first birthday since you and Mike got married, and I'm expecting to see you there.
I guess Mike didn't tell you.
What didn't he tell me?
That I'm not going to be able to come to your birthday party.
What are you saying?
The day of your party is the 1-year anniversary of my dad's passing. My mom and I have organized a memorial service, and I will be attending that instead of your birthday party. You have to understand that I would like to be there for my mom.
You're having a memorial service for your dad? On the day of my birthday party?
Yes, I am.
Well, that's ridiculous. You can't miss my birthday party for a depressing old memorial service.
Well, of course I can. It wouldn't be right to not attend my own dad's memorial service, especially as I'm the one who has organized most of it.
Well, I won't have my daughter-in-law prioritizing a dead person over me when it's my birthday. What on earth is the point in holding a memorial service anyway? How is the dead person going to appreciate it when they're dead? I'm alive and kicking. Surely you should want to celebrate another year of my life over feeling sad because someone has been dead for a year. How can a dead person appreciate the efforts you're going to for them when they're already nothing but a pile of ashes? You should just move on and focus on making the people who are still alive happy instead.
Excuse me? I really don't appreciate the lack of respect you're showing for my late father right now.
Well, it's true, isn't it? A pile of dust and bones isn't going to thank you for holding a service for it. And besides, since you married into our family, you should be prioritizing your in-laws over your birth parents. That's a woman's duty as a wife and a daughter-in-law.
Now I see where Mike gets his crazy conservative mindset from. So what exactly does this woman's duty that you speak of involve? Becoming a good little housewife for your son and basically becoming your slave? Forgetting any obligations to the family that raised me and instead spending my days pandering to you, who has never really done anything for me?
Well, yes. As a daughter-in-law, it's your responsibility to make sure that I'm well looked after. I will not tolerate your unacceptable behavior, so if you really do insist on going to your dad's memorial service instead of my birthday party, I will have no choice but to make sure you divorce my son.
Excuse me?
My birthday has always been a big deal in my family, and we always use it as a reason to get the whole family together. Nobody ever misses it. It's your first year as an official part of the family, and you already want to mess with one of our traditions. This really does not bode well.
Well, I wasn't aware of any of this because you never told me. And even if you had told me, I would still have politely declined your invitation in order to go to my dad's memorial service. I don't know why I have to be made to feel like such a terrible person for just wanting to pay my respects to a deceased parent. I think it's very strange that you're getting this upset over this.
I see you haven't quite figured out just how powerful of a matriarch I am. Go ahead, do whatever you want. But be warned that there will be consequences for going against me.
Well, now I have your permission to go, don't I? You clearly just said,
go ahead, do whatever you want.
So I will. I will be going to my dad's memorial service, and I will not be at your birthday party. Is there anything else you wanted to say to me?
I can't believe how rude you're being right now.
And I also don't appreciate you calling me at a time you knew I would be at work. Now you've wasted my working hours, I'm probably going to have to do overtime and leave your son floundering helplessly by himself at home. He can't cook for himself thanks to you making him feel like he never had to. So now he's probably going to be home all alone this evening, starving.
You insolent girl! Didn't anyone ever teach you how to respect your elders? I'm hanging up. I've also wasted my precious time talking to you, so I'm not going to bother trying to talk to you again.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you. I really don't want to hear from you again. Make sure you remember that you gave me permission to go to my dad's memorial service, so don't get all upset when I don't show up at your birthday party. And I guarantee you that you're going to regret demanding that I divorce your son. I'm going to make you eat your words.
Oh, hi there, Jean. May I ask why you're calling? I was just going to let it go, but I've been seething with anger all day long, and I feel like I just had to say something to you. Are you free to talk right now? Yes, I suppose. Has my daughter done something to offend you? Yes, she has actually. I am feeling very offended right now. I'm sure it must have been some kind of misunderstanding. My daughter isn't the type to pick fights and cause problems. Well, I'm sure you see her through rose-tinted glasses, being her mother. But I've seen her for what she really is. I couldn't have asked for a worse daughter-in-law. I really couldn't. Jean, please, calm down. Could you please just let me know what my daughter has done to make you so upset? Did she tell you that I would be going to your late husband's memorial service on the first anniversary of his death? Well, yes. Well, that day happens to be the day of my birthday party, and she insists on going to her dad's memorial service instead of my party. I've already invited my entire extended family, telling them that they'll get the chance to meet Mike's lovely new wife. I think it's disgraceful of her to prioritize a memorial service over her mother-in-law's birthday party. I had no idea that you were having a birthday party that day. Laura never said anything to me. She took the exact same tone with me when I spoke with her on the phone earlier. The apple really doesn't fall far from the tree, huh? Neither of you have any respect for what a big deal my birthday party is. Anyway, I have no intention of letting her go to her dad's memorial service instead of my birthday party, so I just wanted to let you know in advance so you won't be too disappointed when she doesn't show up on the day. I'm sure you understand that her duty as a daughter-in-law is to make her in-laws happy first and foremost. And besides, I told her this on the phone earlier, and she got very upset with me, but I'm sure you'll be more understanding. There's no point in wasting our energy on putting a lot of effort in for a dead person, is there? It's much better to make sure we celebrate the lives of the people that are still with us. It's not like holding a memorial service is going to bring your late husband back to life or anything, is it? I really think the way you're talking is a little inappropriate here, Jean. I'm sure Laura regrets not being a better daughter to her dad whilst he was still around. But there's nothing she can do about that now, so she might as well just forget about the memorial service and come to my party instead. She shouldn't be wasting her time going to such a great effort for someone she's never going to see again. And instead she should put more effort into pleasing me, who she has to see frequently. I'm sure you can see the logic behind what I'm saying. Can't you, Colleen? If Laura behaves and does as I say, life will be much easier, both for her and for you. Are you threatening me right now? Threatening you? Of course not! I would never do such a thing. I'm just stating facts. If you decide to back your daughter against me, I know just how to make her life a misery. So how about you tell her to give up on this silly notion of going to her dad's memorial service and make sure she comes to my birthday party instead? Well, after listening to the outrageous things that just came out of your mouth, I will do no such thing. Excuse me. And anyway, aren't you a little bit old to be making a big deal out of having a birthday party? I'm sure all of your family think it's a huge nuisance having to drag themselves out for your birthday every year when they have their own lives to worry about. Are you not embarrassed? You're acting like a spoilt child who thinks the world revolves around them. I wouldn't necessarily be upset about Laura missing my late husband's memorial service if she had a good reason, but your attitude with me today has made it very clear that you do not deserve for her to be going out of her way to make you happy. You have no regard for anyone but yourself, and your lack of respect for the dead is quite frankly despicable. I'd appreciate it if you didn't speak to me like this again. Also, what is so wrong with me wanting my daughter to be with me for my husband's first anniversary memorial service? She practically planned the whole thing herself. I really don't see why I need to be made out to be a villain for wanting my daughter by my side whilst we celebrate the life of her late father. How can you not see that there are many problems with her going to the memorial service on that day? Did you not listen to anything I just said to you? It looks like the two of you have been conspiring against me. And why would my family think that spending time with me would be a nuisance? You don't know anything about my relationship with my family. And what do you know about me and my daughter and our relationship with her late father? If you can go shooting your mouth off without knowing the half of what you're talking about, then so can I. And besides, Laura and I had decided to hold this memorial service long before she knew about your birthday party. Regardless of any kind of duty you think she has towards you, shouldn't she still honor the commitment she made first? If you've been as rude to my daughter as you have been to me today, then I'm not going to stand by and let that happen. And what do you mean by that? Is that a threat? Well, you threatened me earlier, so am I not allowed to threaten you back? You and Laura really are two peas in a pod. You share all the same negative attributes. You're both toxic. I wonder if it would be better if she took a little more after her dead dad. Excuse me. There's no need to yell. My ears are going to start bleeding in a second. Anyway, as I said before, no matter what, Laura will not be attending your husband's memorial service. Jean. Jean! Did she just hang up on me? I can't believe that people like her really exist in this world. Wait, are you seriously here alone? Where's Laura? About that. Don't tell me she really did go to her dad's memorial service. I even went as far as to call her mom to make sure she wouldn't disobey me. Did she seriously still choose the memorial service over my party after all that? Why did you need to go as far as calling Colleen Mom? You've gone and messed everything up for me. Wait, what are you talking about? Mom, has something happened between you and Laura? Don't tell me you're causing trouble on Mom's birthday again, Mike. Erica, you don't know the half of it. Laura is divorcing me, and it's all because of Mom. Wait, what did you just say? Laura is divorcing you over this? Why on earth would she go as far as to divorce you just because I told her not to go to a memorial service? What is going on here? What have you two gone and done this time? Laura is threatening me with divorce, just like Mom threatened Colleen, Laura's mom, over the phone a few weeks ago. Don't go around acting like Laura is just divorcing me over us telling her not to go to the memorial service, because it's way more than that. It's because of you and your inability to know when you've crossed a line. Well, I feel like saying I threatened her is quite the overstatement. Mom, why are you still like this?
You promised to be less interfering in our lives when Mike got married. How can you say that and go around treating Laura and her mom so awfully? Are you even my daughter? You should be on my side in this situation. And as for you, Mike, you should have stopped Laura from going to that memorial service. You should have done everything you could to get her here, even if you had to drag her kicking and screaming. Well, what was I supposed to do when she's serious about threatening to divorce me? I really don't want to get divorced, Mom. Mom, why don't you just apologize to Laura and we can put this whole thing to bed? Obviously, she was going to choose to go to her dad's memorial service over your birthday party. Why on earth did you alienate her by trying to force her not to go? Nobody in their right mind would be on your side in this situation. What on earth is wrong with you? Do you really still have these backwards ideas about a daughter-in-law's duty? If so, then I really am disappointed in you, Mom. How would you feel if my mother-in-law was treating me the way you've been treating Laura? How would you feel if she told me to have nothing to do with you anymore because I have a greater duty to the family I married into? You'd be mad, wouldn't you? So what do you think gives you the right to treat someone else's daughter in a way that you would never want your own daughter to be treated? And now you're going to make your only son a divorcee when it hasn't even been a year since he got married. Are you pleased with yourself? Will you pipe down? Nobody asked for your input. And Mike, what are you doing still standing there like an idiot? Go and call Laura right now and tell her to come here this instant. I really can't believe the audacity of that girl and her shameless mother. You need to make sure she knows her place. I don't want to see my son having to constantly be running around after his wife. It's very unbecoming for a man. Don't you even think about calling Laura, Mike. Mom, does it really matter that much if she's not here this year? The other guests will be arriving soon, and you don't want to be in a bad mood when you greet them, do you now? I think the right thing to do is just let Laura go to her dad's memorial service. Are you kidding me? How can you say that when you can see how mad I am right now? I'm too scared to call her. I'm worried that if I do, that will be the nail in the coffin and we really will be getting divorced. I really don't want to get divorced. Where's your pride as a man? You need to be authoritative and make sure she won't take no for an answer. Call her right now and make sure she comes immediately. If you don't, then you leave me no choice but to call her Mom. Are you really going to be this cruel, Mom? Are you really going to try and force Laura to come here and celebrate with you when she's probably going through a really hard time today? Well, it's my birthday party. Today should be all about me, and I don't appreciate the fact that Laura doesn't seem to know that. Mom, please. The world doesn't revolve around you, you know. Apparently having me run around after you isn't enough, and you need to make sure Laura does the same. God forbid that the people around you have lives of their own. If you go ahead and call Laura and ask her to come here, I'm going to completely cut ties with you, Mom. I've had it up to here with your ridiculous entitled behavior. You wanted to have both of us at your beck and call? Well, I wonder how it will feel if you have neither of us. Have you lost your mind? Would you seriously cut ties with your own mother over your brother's wife who you barely have anything to do with? You're just like your father, you are. Infuriating. Fine, cut me off. Did you think I'd be upset about it? I don't need you. I have my wonderful baby boy right here. So why would I want a daughter who never takes my side when I need her to? Being around you just stresses me out anyway, so I'm better off without you. I always hoped you might change, Mom, but you're still the same as ever. They say that a parent should never put themselves above their children, but I don't see why I should do that. The way I see it is that you should be putting me above yourselves. I'm the most important person here, and things should go the way I want them to. If that's really the way you think, that's fine. Carry on thinking that way. But don't involve me in your twisted worldview. Don't even think about trying to contact me again. And I'm going to stop sending you money each month as well. So make sure you're prepared for that. I can't believe any daughter would treat her own mother like this. This is why they say that daughters are useless and it's better to have sons. My son is all I need, so hurry up and get out of here. Mom, I really can't bring myself to call her. Just call her, and if she makes a fuss,
You be the one to divorce her! I never liked her in the first place. I can't do that, Mom. If I divorce her, I'll be the one losing out. What are you talking about? This is why you shouldn't say things with so much confidence when you don't know the full story. I guess you don't know how much Laura got as inheritance from her dad. It's enough for us all to live comfortably for the rest of our lives. Wait, what? I never knew anything about this. I didn't either because she kept it under wraps. I only found out because she told me when she was drunk one day. I don't think she remembers telling me, so I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd make a big deal out of it and make her uncomfortable. Now you've ruined our chances of claiming that inheritance by alienating her. If this is true, then I really have made a huge mistake. So you'd better go and apologize to Laura right now. And make sure you go out of your way to treat her better from now on. Oh no. What have I done? What should I do now? How do I fix this? Why didn't you tell me about this before? If I had known, I never would have said those things that I said to Colleen that day. You should have known not to behave like that in the first place, especially when you promised to not be interfering after I got married. Anyway, let's wait until the memorial service is over and then we can go and talk to Laura together. Hi, Laura. How is the memorial service?
What are you doing here?
Honey, my mom has come to see you because she has something important to say to you.
Well, whatever it is, say it quickly and then leave me in peace. I really don't feel like being bothered today.
I'm really sorry about the way I treated you all this time. Here, I bought you some cookies from the really nice bakery around the corner as well. Make sure you share them with your mom as well.
Why are you being so nice to me all of a sudden?
It's because I reflected a lot on my actions and I realized that the way I treated you was very wrong. I want to try and make amends with you and sincerely apologize for my unacceptable behavior. Yeah, honey, didn't I tell you? My mom loves you a lot. She just isn't very good at expressing herself. I'm sure you really appreciate how hard it is for her to share her feelings with you like this. Yes, of course. I've always been very fond of you, Laura. I think of you as my own daughter, and I'm sorry that I caused such a rift between us. How about we start afresh and turn over a new leaf?
Are you acting like this because you found out about my dad's inheritance?
What do you mean? Yeah, what are you talking about, honey? How would my mom even know if your dad left you anything in the first place? And even if he had left you a lot of money, and if my mom were to find out somehow, she wouldn't be shallow enough to do a complete 180 just to get her hands on some money. Yes, of course I wouldn't. But, just out of curiosity, how much did your dad leave you? It must be a lot of money for you to have brought it up as a possible reason for me changing my attitude towards you. Of course, I'm not interested in taking a penny for myself. I'm just casually taking a mild interest.
Oh, please, drop the act already. Erica called me last night and told me everything. She told me that Mike told you that he had found out how much I had inherited from my dad, and that he didn't want to get divorced because he wanted to get some of the money for himself. She also said to expect you to come here and try to sweeten me up as if you were suddenly a changed person, and she warned me not to fall for it because it's all just a tactic to try and get a share of my inheritance.
I can't believe it. Stabbed in the back by my own flesh and blood. Yes, fine, you're right. I only apologized because I heard about your inheritance. I dragged myself all the way out here despite being old and decrepit, and I even bought you a gift. You should be grateful towards me for going to so much effort. Did you really think I was doing this because I like you, and I actually feel sorry towards you? Mom, what do you think you're doing? This wasn't part of the plan. It really must be a lot of money if you're taking this entitled attitude with me. Whatever. If you don't want to accept the cookies, I'll just take them back. I apologized already, so stop this nonsense about wanting to divorce my son. You call this an apology? You don't feel sorry towards me at all. This whole apology is entirely self-serving on your part. I haven't received a real apology from you, and I know that I never will.
So I'm going to go ahead with divorcing your son, and there's no way you'll ever get your filthy paws on my dad's money. I really don't want any more to do with people that only want to keep me in their lives because of my inheritance.
Honey, please. I promise you, I'll cut my mom out of my life and never speak to her ever again. So how about we don't get divorced? What do you say?
Oh, so now both of my children are willing to disown me over this debacle. Do neither of you feel any kind of affection towards me at all? You call yourselves my children.
Well, if you're the most important person in your life, Mom, then I should be the most important person in mine. I don't want my life to be ruined because of you, so get out of my house before you make things any worse. Don't ever say anything mean to Laura ever again. And stop trying to meddle with our relationship.
Hey, you can't just abandon your own mother like that. Are you really going to close the door on me? Open up this instant!
Honey, look, I'm willing to cut ties with my mom for you. So please, just give me one more chance. I'm begging you. I know that what I did was wrong. I really don't want to get divorced. I want us to be together.
Congrats from escaping from your mom's clutches. Although I never asked you to cut her off for my sake. And that's not going to stop me from going ahead and divorcing you. I'm also going to sell this house and go and live with my mom. I'll serve you the papers as soon as possible. So let's get it all signed without a fuss, okay? I don't want to have to go through the courts and keep having to see your face.
But I cut ties with my mom for you.
I think you'll find that if you open the door, she's still there. So I really don't think you have done anything so dramatic. I've gotten everything in place to start the divorce proceedings, so nothing you do now is going to change my mind.
You can't do this.
Oh, I can. You must have forgotten how crazy I can get when I'm mad. It's taking all of my strength to hold myself back right now. I suggest that you follow your mom and leave now whilst I'm still asking you nicely.
Right now?
Yes, right now!
Hey, Mom. How have you been?
Oh, whatever. I don't need an ungrateful son like you. It seems that my husband told my in-laws about my dad's inheritance at his mom's party when I wasn't there. After hearing that, his mom completely changed her attitude towards me and came rushing to apologize, hoping that she would somehow be able to get her hands on some of my money. The whole situation was like something out of a bad sitcom. My mom was quite surprised when I told her what had happened, and then she just hugged me and told me I did good to get away from that family before it was too late. After I followed through with my threat and served Mike the divorce papers, he refused to sign and started calling me constantly. I never once picked up, but I did listen to the voicemails he left me. He kept saying that he was sorry and that he would take my family into more consideration from now on, etc., etc. He even said outlandish things like he would hold a lavish memorial service for my dad next year and that he would cook for all the family and friends that showed up. He can't even make toast for himself, so I don't know why he said something so ridiculous. I knew he didn't mean a word of his apologies, and that deep down he was just as self-serving as his mom. I have no intention of giving him a second chance, and although I feel like he's not going to make the divorce process easy for me, it will all be worth it to be completely rid of him in the end. If he continues to refuse to sign the papers and do things amicably, I might have to go ahead and sue him. If I ever think about getting married again, I'll make sure that I really know the person inside and out before I even consider getting serious with them. As Mike has shown me that sometimes people hide their true selves from their partners until after they're married. If it hadn't been because of my dad's memorial service, it would have been something else. So I'm glad that I was able to stand my ground and take the necessary steps to get out of that marriage and away from that crazy family. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.